I don't care if you do a net or you do the individual faces. You get the same answer either way. So if you're drawing a net for this, I would say there's a rectangle on the bottom. There are two rectangles on the sides attached to that. And there are two triangles on the ends. And if you folded this all together, you would get that prism. Please make sure you actually label everything, though. If you don't have the measurements, you end up missing a lot of the necessary information. Each rectangle is 4 by 10. So these little pieces are 4s. The longer pieces are 10. Some people go a little overboard and they label absolutely everything. That's fine, but it's not necessary. The only other piece of information we really need is in each triangle, we need to make sure that we have the height, which is 2, because finding the area of a triangle requires you having a height. So I'm going to draw in the dotted lines here. Each triangle has a height of 2. If you are not a fan of drawing the net for each of these, you could just draw the individual pieces. So the other option I'll list right down here. There are two triangles that have measurements of 4 by 2. There are 2 of those. And then there are these rectangles, 3 of them, that measure 4 by 10. I don't care which way you do this, you get the same answer either way. What we would need to do at this point is find the area of each individual shape. The rectangles are extremely easy. We should all know at this point that for a rectangle, we are just multiplying base times height, or length times width. So for the rectangles, it's just 10 times 4, which is what? 40. Each rectangle is 40. So you can go ahead and label each rectangle is going to be 40. And I'm just putting circles around these so we don't get them confused with the measurements that were already there. For the triangles, in case you have forgotten, so we said for a rectangle, it's base times height or length times width. For a triangle, it's half of the base times the height. So for a triangle, the base is 4, the height is 2. What's 4 times 2? 8, but I want half of that for a triangle. So 4. So each rectangle has an area of, each triangle has an area of 4. You would do the same thing if you were doing them separately. You would say the rectangle has an area of 40, the triangle has an area of 4. At this point, we need to add everything together. So to find the surface area, I would add 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 4 plus 4. If I did them individually, I would say 4 times 2 is 8, 40 times 3 is 120, and I would add those together. Either way, if you add this all up, 40, 40, 40 makes 120, 124, 128. Your surface area, so SA, surface area, of this entire shape is going to be 128. We have not added units to this, but depending on what the units are, so let's say for this example that we had everything in centimeters. Because each area was 10 centimeters times 4 centimeters, we did centimeters times centimeters, which would be centimeters squared. So your final measurement would be 128 centimeters squared. So when we talk surface area, the unit will always have an exponent of 2 on it. That's the whole thing with area. 2 dimensions for each shape, so centimeters squared.